Jones Dairy Farm is a seventh-generation family-owned and operated company located in Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin. For more than 135 years, Jones has been using real, natural ingredients, original recipes, and time-honored traditions to create distinctive and timeless products. Jones is known for producing premium, all-natural breakfast sausage, naturally smoked hams and Canadian bacon, all-natural meatballs, and dry-aged bacon. All certified gluten-free. This is City Cast Madison. I'm Bianca Martin, and here's what Madison's talking about. Today, Happy New Year! Okay, it's not 2026 yet, but here on City Cast Madison, we are ready to set our wishes for Madison in the new year. Joining me to talk about New Year's resolutions is executive producer Hayley Sperling. Hey, Hayley.
Hey, Bianca. Happy almost 2026. We are so close.
I'm ready to close this chapter and for new things to come. There have been a lot of good stuff, but we like to look ahead. And we asked some of our favorite guests from this year what they wish for Madison in 2026. And we do this episode each year. It's so fun. And we got some great responses. So we're going to just dive right in. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
All right, we're going to kick it off with everyone's favorite guy, director of the UW-Madison Insect Diagnostic Lab, a.k.a. the Wisconsin bug guy, PJ Leash, who I talked to about mosquitoes this summer. Let's listen.
Hi, this is PJ Leash, the Wisconsin bug guy and an entomologist here at UW-Madison. I'm calling in to chat about what my hopes are for Madison in 2026. And the thing that stands out to me that I think we all could do, and personally something I want to focus on for this next year, is simply being more present. I feel we live in this world of TikTok and Instagram and multitasking around the clock, it seems, and it's just hard to have attention span sometime. And so one thing I'm going to try focusing on this next year is just find some little moments, and it could be a few minutes here or there, or 5 minutes or something like that every day, but just truly be present when you're drinking that coffee or trying to read a news article, something like that. So I think that's something that everyone could benefit, trying to be more present.
That is so resonating with me so hard. Like, we have been disconnected from our natural rhythms. Talk to the man who focuses on nature. We're disconnected. Our biological clocks are crazy. And this is being more present is easily a top 2 resolution for me next year. So distracted all the time. I just don't want it anymore. I got to get away from my phone.
That's exactly how I feel. This is also like a top 2, if not maybe even the number 1 resolution for me. And I will say one thing, like, shout out to the Healthy Minds app. Someone turned it on to me not that long ago. It comes from the UW-Madison Center for Healthy Minds, which is led by Dr. Richard Davidson. And it just has helped me become a little bit more present, focus on mindfulness, and connect with nature around me. So we're starting off really strong here.
Really strong, maybe breath work. I know there are apps just like to help you breathe, and we love Richie, so that is a fantastic recommendation. In addition there, Hayley, let's hear some more from our guest. This is our next lady up.
Hi, this is Ellen Carlson from Way Forward Resources. My hope for Madison in 2026 is that we all get a little bit more curious. Before we presume why someone's situation looks the way it does, or we get upset about a solution that we don't like that's being offered to a local problem, what if we just got curious first? And what if we asked a question, truly looking for answers? What if we opened ourselves to changing if we learned something new? I also hope we remember that sometimes in life, we're the ones who need support, and sometimes we're the ones who get to offer it. That's the beauty of community. Some of the most joyful moments come from being part of something bigger and harder than we could do alone. And personally, my wish for Madison is that we embrace living in the cold and in the north. Instead of complaining about all this gorgeous, fluffy stuff around us, we looked at it with curiosity and excitement, like probably we did when we were little. I grew up in Minnesota and winter was celebrated. So let's all get outside and clear our minds and lungs with some deep breaths of glorious cold winter air. Thanks and Happy New Year.
More deep breaths. We're laughing here because Hayley, you
I
too
feel it.
grew
I
up
feel
in
it.
Minnesota. We grew up in these colder states. I really like that. I think embracing this winter is a part of mindfulness too. And getting curious feels so important right now because it's a time of deep division and focusing on the terrible if somebody's different from you. And we're off track. So we need to get back and start asking, the questions. And why is someone showing up like this? Why are they making this choice and not just villainize them?
Yeah. And again, to Ellen's point, sometimes you are the person who needs help and sometimes you are the helper. And community care, mutual aid, it works. It's necessary. Be nice to each other. Ask curious questions. Be compassionate. Have a little kindness. That's what I get from Bianca, is to spread kindness.
Oh, 2026. We're coming at ya. All right, on to the next one. This next message hits close to home.
Hey, this is Allison Paff-Harris, Farm to School Director at REAP Food Group. And what are my hopes for Madison in 2026? I hope that Madison, as well as the entire state of Wisconsin, can pass no-cost school meals for all students K through 12. I also hope that we can find funding to support local farmers in selling into schools, as well as other institutions like universities, hospitals, and child and adult care centers.
Can I get an amen?
Amen, right?
Amen to Allison. That is so important. God, I know we just also heard from Ellen Carlson, who was on the show a couple of times recently to talk about the state of food at our food pantries. And gosh, this sort of food insecurity takes such a toll on kids, and being hungry at school is just the worst for outcomes. And yeah, I really like the process that they're working on, which is like, let's help our farmers and our kids and everyone come together, more collective care, like you were saying, Hayley.
Yes, community care. And, all I'll say to this one is that I hope our state legislators are listening.
Yes, me too. Speaking of state legislature stuff, politics coming up, the next message to come up is from political commentator, radio and podcast host Kristen Bry.
This is Kristen Bry, and I am leaving a message with my hope for Madison in 2026 as someone who is from Madison but lives in Milwaukee. My first hope is that it is an election year, and so as always, I am hoping from afar Madison does what Madison does and turns out big time for both the spring election and the midterms in the fall. And I guess this is more of a hope that a lot of us have in Milwaukee, and probably will not be happening in 2026, but that eventually, maybe in the next decade, there will be a train that connects Madison to Milwaukee. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
People all over the world love train. Come together. Yes. Yes to the train. Yes to democracy. All the great things that bring us together.
Always yes to the trains. I feel like these past couple of months have just been like the months of trains. And I'm so glad that this conversation is being revived. Happy and sad that Kristen brought up elections next year. It's going to be a big one for all of you politicos out there. And y'all can bet we will be covering it right here on City Cast Madison.
Absolutely. And I love the trains. There are more trains to come in this conversation. Spoiler alert. It's funny, intrastate and interstate train resolutions are a regular on this year-end show. It's fun to hear it. And let's keep this train a-moving.
My name is Madeline Topf. I'm a former co-president of the UW-Madison Graduate Worker Labor Union. I graduated with my PhD in August, and I now work for the State Public Health Laboratory of Wisconsin. In 2026, I hope we will see the end of Act 10. Act 10 is an anti-union law which severely restricts public workers' right to negotiate over their working conditions. My labor union, AFT, is a part of a lawsuit challenging Act 10, which we are very hopeful about going into the new year. The repeal of Act 10 would be a significant benefit not only to Wisconsin, but to Madison specifically, as our public employees like teachers, grad students, and city workers will be able to collectively bargain or negotiate over their wages and other working conditions. This right would create more avenues for discussion, so we do not have to keep relying on citywide referenda to fund our public school system, our libraries, or our city. Strong unions with negotiating power make better jobs with competitive wages and benefits, which in turn makes our city more prosperous. For example, it was only after my union won me a higher stipend in my grad program that I was able to quit my second job and free up time to give back to our community through labor organizing. Thank you, City Cast Madison, for all the work you do, all of your great reporting. I'm a proud subscriber. I have my tote bag and can't wait to see what you do next year. Happy New Year.
Aw, Madeline, we can't wait to see what you do. Doing big stuff, I imagine, over at the State Public Health Laboratory. Thank you for your work. And hear ye, we've got a pro-labor voice. We know Madeline and her former UW TAs and the whole UW system. What a year for them.
Huge year for them. And shout out to Madeline. She has been a source on the podcast before talking about labor rights, specifically for grad students, postdoctorals, all of these very important people in our community. And like you said, Bianca, she has been doing the work. And I'm so glad to know that she supports our work too. Thank you, Madeline. And I hope you love your tote bag.
You should have a high standard when it comes to your protein choices. With Jones Dairy Farm, they pride themselves on never cutting corners, using the best quality ingredients, and providing a 100% satisfaction guarantee. They're 7th generation family owned for a reason, because they've kept true to their roots and values, and are determined to continue their tradition of distinctive quality products you can trust and enjoy every day. Jones, making mealtimes better since 1889. Root to Rise helps Dane County high school students, especially those who haven't yet found joy in their education, get on a stronger path by supporting younger children in elementary classrooms across Dane County. Each day, they sit beside kids during reading and math, answering questions, offering encouragement, and building the kind of trusting connection children naturally respond to. Teachers notice it right away. They call these teens, quote, extra hands, extra voices, and extra leaders, and say classrooms feel more productive with them there. And for many students, this becomes a turning point. As one shared, Root to Rise changed my life. When I started, I didn't care about school and didn't think I'd graduate, but working with younger kids changed everything. I got more confident and I wanted to do better for them and for myself. If you believe in giving young people a strong path forward, please consider supporting Root to Rise's work. Go to roottorise.org. That's root, the number 2, rise.org. Our next voice is a friend of the show, and she's got some strong opinions on what the future should hold.
Hello, I'm Lindsay Christians, the food and culture editor of the Capital Times. My resolution for 2026 for Madison is to celebrate creativity and actively resist AI in all its forms. ChatGPT won't make us kinder or smarter or more interesting. Generative AI is bad for artists. It's awful for the planet. I know it feels like it's everywhere, but friends, we do have a choice. I want to know the weird stuff that comes from your mind and your heart, from the artists, from the musicians and the performers that I love. I want us to be finding music outside the algorithm. I want to hear about the book you just read and loved. I want the real, original, quirky stuff. Keep Madison creative and AI.
Burn it down.
She said an F-bomb, and we had to bleep it. Viva la human revolution, the weird revolution.
I love it. I love it. You know, look at us go. Keep Madison weird. There's no AI in this podcast for what it's worth. We are 2 human voices coming at you from your headphones.
Yes. And yeah, Lindsay coming with the big guns. We love to see it. We hear you roar and on our behalf. So thank you so much. And while we're talking about the future of the arts and performers, you know who cares a lot about the arts and the humanities? Your local radio stations and public media.
Hi, my name's Stacey Harbaugh, a.k.a. DJ Shotsky, host of Polka Time on the local radio station 98.7 WVMO FM. And my hope for Madison in 2026 is that Madisonians deepen their value of community radio. 2025 was a rough year for community radio. Wisconsin Public Radio suffered cuts when the Trump administration canceled the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. And those impacts also made a big impact on WORT. There was a big funding bubble that burst. And even in the 50th year of that amazing community radio station, people really had to learn some hard truths about the funding and how much it costs to keep community radio going and really up their contributions to that station. And the award-winning WVMO in Monona, Wisconsin celebrated their 10th anniversary with a huge party. And we had a lot of fun seeing people turn out for even a low-power community radio station. Community radio keeps us in touch. It gives us hyper-local news, information, weather updates, especially events, music events, announcements. It's just so important. So I hope people listen to more community radio. I hope you've cut the ties to platforms like Spotify that don't really support their artists anyway, and turn the radio on. Find a DJ who shares your tastes and get into it. Let's listen to more community radio in 2026.
2026, spot a who? Thank you,
Facts.
Stacy. Thank you, Stacy. So behind this rezo, the work of curation and running a radio station, especially like the community radio stations that are powered by so many volunteers, man, that's a Herculean feat. It's a creative feat, and I challenge AI to do something like that. I don't think it can be done.
It can't, it shan't. Long live community radio. As we know, local journalism in all form is critical to a functioning society. You can look up the research on that one on your own because it is plentiful.
On to our next resolution. This one's from our favorite streets man.
Hi, this is Brian Johnson, Recycling Coordinator and Public Information Officer with the Streets Division. Really hoping that we all are just a little bit less wasteful in our lives. I know that's really on brand for the Recycling Coordinator, but kind of mean that in the physical sense where we're making less trash, making better choices for what we're recycling, donating more of those things that way, but also maybe just being less wasteful with our time and seeking more joyful things, whether that's just like watching more Taskmaster or reading more books that me finally getting around to, and just consuming less like content slop out there, and just finding more like going in less waste of our time, I suppose, and then also being less wasteful in other ways as well. Just being that's more of a general sense of that. Maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed. They're just better. I just want things to be better. How about that? Have a good New Year, everybody.
Oh, Brian. Yes, fingers crossed. A little pleading there, and understandably so. Waste less, it has to be said, and put more of your things on secondhand shelves for me to go buy and bring to my house.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, this one is definitely on brand for our recycling coordinator, but I love it. I love it across the board. Stop consuming the slop. I feel like that has to be one of the top your words of 2025. And, this one is also high up on my list. I would love to be less wasteful and more mindful with my purchases. I'm really trying hard to have a buy nothing / buy little year in 2026. So, Brian, you're inspiring me. You're encouraging me here.
All right, on to our next resolution, and that train is coming back. Let's hear it.
Hey, City Cast. It's Jane Rotunda, and I'm the director of the Wisconsin Book Festival. Thanks so much for asking about my hopes for Madison in 2026. And here they are. I hope we can clean up the lakes, make forward progress on connecting Madison to Chicago, Milwaukee, and the Twin Cities via a high-speed railway. And finally, invest in free and public arts and cultural programming. According to the National Assembly of the State Arts Agencies, Wisconsin ranks 48th in the country per capita spending for the arts. Madison has the tools, resources, and community interest to initiate a deeper investment and build momentum for the whole state to do the same. Thanks so much, CityCast. Here's to a great year ahead.
Thank you, Jane. Honestly, cleaning up our lakes is a perennial on my list every single year. And The train, yes. The train, yes. The arts programming really stands out. It reminds me of a recent guest that we had on the show, Erica Halverson, the podcast host of Arts Educators Save the World and the mayor of the Whoopin' Sockers program for teaching kids creativity and social emotional skills. And it was just a reminder, like, I wouldn't be hosting the show today if it weren't for the people who supported kids in the arts in Wisconsin. Like, it's so important. So viva las culturistas.
I love it. Yeah, I think the proof is really in the pudding here. Arts funding is vital to everyone. And, with this, I often think about what one of our past guests, Casey Lucchini Butcher, said, and that public art and artists make our city what it is. And so without affordable access to arts, events, and, products and livability for all, Madison just wouldn't be what it is today. So shout out to the arts.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And our next resolution is from not only a neighbor, but also a former guest. And she wants us to get a bit artsy in 2026.
Hey, neighbors. This is Lynn with Dance Fabulous. And my New Year's resolution for 2026 is a two-parter. The first is that I've always gotten a lot of benefit using the program in the book, The Artist's Way. So for 2026, I want to kickstart that and get back into doing those exercises, which leads me to part 2, which is taking yourself out on an artist date. And with the artist date, I really want to get more engaged in the Madison art scene. It's definitely not something that I do myself in terms of the art that I create, but I do get a lot of inspiration from those visual mediums. And for 2026, I want to go to more art museums. I want to check out art shows at like Art Lit Lab or the Bubbler and just really get more intentional about checking out the art scene in Madison. Happy New Year to all of you. And thanks to the City Cast Madison team. You are the best.
Oh my God, Lynn, the way I heard The Artist's Way, I have 2 or 3 copies of it. So, Hayley, do you know about The Artist's Way?
No, you have to enlighten me.
Let me put everyone on game if you're not already on game. It's like you've probably heard of like morning pages. So like the first thing you do is you wake up and then you just brain dump basically like for 5 minutes. And it helps clear everything like anxiety, lots of things out. And it's just been a tool for a lot of people to help connect with their artistic path. And I love everything that you're recommending for 2026. I want to follow the same thing. And there's so many times I'm like, I'm going to do The Artist's Way. And also I know fan and frequent guests on the show, Ali Muldrow, has said the same thing. That is a goal of hers in 2026. So Artist's Way, y'all. Look it up.
More art in 2026 all around. I love this resolution. I think it's so important that we need to be supporting our local art scene, especially when we have so many great resources out there like the ones that Lynn just named. So thank you, Lynn, for this one. This is really awesome.
Last week we had a party and asked some of our friends who showed up what their wish for 2026 was. Jade busted out the mic, and by our friends, I mean our listeners and readers and the people who showed up to our end of year bash. So let's hear one from them.
So I'm Jack Plaster, a longtime listener, occasional caller, new member with City Cast Madison. I think for my New Year's resolution, I mean, there are so many that I could pick from. Like, I'd love it if we could have even more music venues than we already have, or this, that, or the other thing. But, I happen to be a transit nerd, and I really do hope that we can have passenger rail service soon, because I feel like Madison already has so much going for it already. We've got a fantastic bus system. We've got the airports. Got so many ways of getting in and out of the city. We just need a train. And then I think we'll be good to go. So I really hope, the city and the DOT and everyone else get on that real soon.
Passenger rail is again the GOAT of the resolutions year-end episode. It's what people want. We don't need more evidence. I'm convinced.
The train strikes again. Yes, planes, trains, and automobiles. 2026, I hope it's a big year for transportation. I feel like we've laid a lot of the groundwork this year, and next year, hopefully, we'll start to see some of the fruits of our labor come to fruition.
Yes, and we got another resolution from a listener at the party who's got more interests in transportation being bolstered.
I'm Scott Hirschberger. I'm a new City Cast Madison member, and I have two hopes for Madison in 2026. First is to continue improving our bicycle infrastructure. I'm a year-long cyclist and really appreciate being able to do that here. And my other vision is to keep building community and for people living here to really feel that sense of place and sense of togetherness.
The connections, the bike trail connections. We've got to keep our roots strong and our community ties just as strong.
So big. I love this one, Scott. Like, let's bring the people together. Shout out to Scott, because I will say he was one of the most social people at our party, really out there doing the work, making friends. So we should all be more like him in 2026 is all I'm going to say.
Yes, definitely social butterfly. It was so nice to meet you and so glad you're supporting. And let's hear another message from an attendee. This one is a certified diva.
My name is Andrew Hansen, and my hope for Madison in 2026 is that we all use the public libraries more. I'm trying to read one book per month, and I'm making myself use my library card because we should all use our public services more.
This man, Andy, is a voracious consumer of books and films, and there's so many good books and films that you can check out from the library. So this is a great resolution for 2026.
Yes, we love the library. I love the return to physical media. We love to see it. I will also say reading one book a month may or may not have been my resolution this year, and I'm not going to tell you how far I made it, but we're not going to make it, Joe, and that's all right. We keep it moving.
I find Libby helps audiobooks
Oh,
and
yeah.
help me. I can listen when I'm cooking, but I hear you. I hear you. Let's roll on to another listener message from the party.
My name is Paul Joseph. My hope for Madison in 2026 and beyond is just to have better options for housing, whether it's affordable housing, lower rent, more people having the option to buy and become first-time homeowners, or even just having a way to resolve some of our homelessness issues in town. Because since we're in a northern climate, especially currently right now, there's snow on the ground, we really need to take care of these folks. So that's my wish.
That is such a good wish. Thank you, Paul. Paul's got his finger on the pulse. I know both Hayley and I are shaking our head yes, up and down. It's very considerate, and especially this time of year, the houseless population is top of mind. This winter is brutal.
Yeah, it's huge. And obviously, we've seen a lot of shakeups within that community with this year with the closure of Dairy Drive. And next year, we're going to be looking at hopefully the opening of a new permanent men's shelter. So again, taking care of each other. That is huge.
We've got two more resolutions that are about one of our favorite topics, eating and food in Madison. We're going to play them back to back. Let's go.
I'm Ashley Rodriguez. I'm a features reporter at the Cap Times. I think in 2026, I'd love to see more small businesses always. And I'd love to see food businesses do cool stuff. And I know that that's kind of ambiguous, but I always think that there's this tendency with food and new restaurants to want to please everybody. And I want the restaurant to just do exactly what they want to do. I feel like there's no better example of that than Osteria Papavero. That guy cooks exactly what he wants. And I love that. I want to see more restaurants like that are just unapologetically specific.
I would love to see more Italian restaurant, a great Italian restaurant. As an Italian, it's always good to be having good Italian restaurant. So that's my my hope for.
Kind of sounds like more Italian restaurants. That second voice was Giovanni Novella, the chef and co-owner behind Osteria Novella, the new spot, and also formerly the executive chef of Bar Corleone.
I'm not mad about that at all. Let's go eat some pasta. I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm going to make a bold prediction, Hayley. We want a resolution being we want to eat more good food in 2026.
Oh, yeah, that's up there. Number one.
And also I like in Ashley's, it's kind of don't please anyone. 2026 resolution, stop trying to please people. Be yourself, be weird, like Lindsay said. And speaking about being yourself and going for it, Hayley, we got a write-in from a famous former longtime WPR radio host who was just on the show to talk health misinformation. Immediately fell in love with this energy. The message is from Zorba Pastor. Hayley, do you want to read it?
Yes, I will read it. Zorba says, quote, I want to learn to dance. I've never had a sense of rhythm, or more likely never developed what must be something internal. Whenever I dance, I'm dancing to another rhythm. My resolution this year is to master some dance steps so that I can dance with my sweetheart. That's it's the end that made me cry. I mean, like, he wants talk about not doing something for other people. Zorba's like, no, hold my beer. I'm gonna learn to dance so I can dance with my girlfriend. That's cute.
It's very cute. It's like, we want you to keep dancing on the planet that you're on, and we super appreciate, like, that's also the bigger vibe. Get curious, dance on other people's planets, sometimes the just general planet and the 1-2 step, and learn the basic rules. But love that one from Zorba. He's truly a gem of the highest order. So recommend you go back and listen to our episode with him where he actually told me about his sweetheart, if you're curious, because it was a cute moment. That will be a fun listen, y'all. And now we're going to wrap this show with our own resolutions. Hayley, do you have a resolution for 2026?
I've been stewing on this for a while. My biggest Madison-based resolution is to break out of my comfort zone. It is a running joke with me and myself inside my own head that every podcast I'm on, I tell you guys I'm an East Side girl and I love the East Side. I'd love to break out of that. I love the East Side. I love my neighborhood. I'd love to explore more of the North Side, more of the South Side, more of the West Side. So I'd like to become a global Madison citizen, if you will.
I will, and I love that one for you. That one's absolutely brilliant. I guess I'll share mine and do a full circle here, because of story structure, and return to the first one, which was about being present. I just think this is a good resolution for me, as I mentioned up top. I was like, top 2 might be number 1, like you said, Hayley. Like, I just want to be more present with myself and with others and with the city. I mean, now we live here year after year, and there's a lot of change happening. There's a lot to notice, and also change can be hard, and people can push back on change in not the nicest ways, and sometimes the change might actually be more helpful. And just as we do this podcast and we're in conversation in Madison, I just want more presence and more curiosity to take from what Ellen said, in terms of hoping that people give each other grace and not jump to the worst conclusions about each other, and know that we're sharing this city together. We don't have to cut each other down needlessly or find a villain for our issues when things clash. They're going to clash. So, let's work together better. And maybe the only way to do that is be present. So be like Andy from The Devil Wears Prada and throw your phone in the Trevi Fountain or wherever the hell she was in London. Get away from our phones and be more human with each other.
No more slop in 2026. That's the goal. Be present without the slop. I love it.
Hayley, thank you so much for being a part of this end of year resolutions convo. I love your resolution, and it was a lot of fun.
This is so much fun. This is always one of my favorite shows of the year. So shout out to everyone who called in, who wrote in, who helped us put this together, because we wouldn't be here without you.
Yes, thank you to everyone who sent in a resolution, took the time. They were so thoughtful. And we intend to reach out to you next year to be on the podcast to talk more about this city. You guys are heavy hitters, and our listeners and readers, we love you. Should say that we are going to be off for the rest of the week, and we will be rerunning some of our favorite shows from this year next week. So tune in for that. We'll be fresh in the new year, so there will be more City Cast Madison in 2026. Thank the Lord. But until then, take the absolute best care. Know you are loved. We love you. We love living in Madison together, and glad to be in community with you. And we will catch you on the other side. That's a wrap for 2025 and all for today here on City Cast Madison. I'm your host, Bianca Martin. Don't forget, you can support this show and get great perks by becoming a City Cast Madison neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. And stay tuned for our CityCast Giving Spotlight. We'll be featuring 5 local nonprofits throughout an e-blast to highlight all the good they do throughout the year in Madison. And if you enjoyed the show, why not share this episode with a Madisonian with vision and dreams in their heart? All right, we'll be back after the new year with more stories from around the city. Until then, happy holidays!